The origin of Arabian Nights are commonly known as 1001 Nights. One day, King Shahryar discovers that his wife has been unfaithful. Consequently, he has her executed. But in his bitterness and grief, he decides that all women are the same. Shahryar begins to marry a succession of virgins only to execute each one the next morning before she has a chance to dishonor him. Eventually, the vizier, whose duty it is to provide them, cannot find any more virgins. Scheherazade, the vizier's daughter, offers herself as the next bride and her father reluctantly agrees. On the night of their marriage, Scheherazade begins to tell the king a tale but does not end it. The king, curious about how the story ends, is thus forced to postpone her execution in order to hear the conclusion. The next night, as soon as she finishes the tale, she begins, and only begins, a new one, and the king, eager to hear the conclusion, postpones her execution once again. So, it goes on for 1001 nights. Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Once upon a time, two brothers used to live in Persia. Their names were Ali Baba and Qasim. Qasim was the older brother. After their father's death, Qasim said that it wasn't Ali Baba's home anymore. So, Ali Baba fled his home and climbed up the mountain to find 40 thieves. The 40 thieves stood in front of the large rock and said, "Open sesame." These magic words opened the rock, and the 40 thieves entered the cave. What a sight, Ali Baba thought. Ali Baba approached the large rock after the thieves had left and said, "Open sesame." The cave opened, and Ali Baba entered it. The cave was full of treasures. Amazing, Ali Baba exclaimed. He took some of the treasures with him and became rich. Qasim learned about this and was jealous of his brother. He went to Ali Baba's home and asked him, "Where did all this stuff come from?" Ali Baba, after some time, revealed the secret location to his brother. Qasim couldn't wait and ran to the cave. "Open sesame," he shouted, and the cave opened. He filled his bag with all the treasures. When he was leaving, he saw that the large rock had locked the cave. Qasim tried to think of the secret words and tried saying everything, "Open donkey," "Open monkey," but it didn't work. The thieves returned to the cave and found Qasim. The thieves killed him. Ali Baba learned about his brother, took him out of the cave and buried him. The thieves learned that the body was gone and were angry. Someone was there and took him. They said, "Let's find that person." They soon found out it was Ali Baba. One of the thieves finally found Ali Baba and robbed his home. Ali Baba's maid was clever and marked all doors in the neighborhood with the same marking as the one on their door. The thieves again arrived the next day to steal from Ali Baba but couldn't find his house as all of the doors had the exact same marking. The thieves finally found Ali Baba's house and entered. They hid in large jars. The maid saw them hiding and filled the jars with boiling oil. The thieves hiding in the jars died. The chief of thieves was left. Ali Baba invited him to his house as a guest. Ali Baba didn't know who he was, but his maid was able to identify him. "Be my guest," said the maid, "relax and enjoy the show." She brought 2 swords and began to dance and moved closer to the chief of thieves as she moved. The maid then stabbed the chief and told the truth about his identity to Ali Baba. The chief of thieves was left. Ali Baba invited him to his house as a guest. Ali Baba didn't know who he was, but his maid was able to identify him. "Be my guest," said the maid, "relax and enjoy the show." She brought 2 swords and began to dance and moved closer to the chief of thieves as she moved. The maid then stabbed the chief and told the truth about his identity to Ali Baba. The maid's wisdom and help surprised Ali Baba. "Thank you for saving my life," Ali Baba said and married her after some time. They lived happily ever after.